On today's episode of the Comics Panel, we are going to talk more about cosplay. All right, guys.
Welcome.
Hello.
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 It's us again. I'm King Sarah's Cosplay.
I'm Sailor V.
And I'm Steph.
Hi, Steph.
Steph!
Where those sexy guys at?
They went away.
We kicked him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They fell in a hole and a hog ate them.
No boys allowed.
No boys allowed. No.
Yeah, so off camera, we were talking a little bit about wanting to discuss your first time cosplaying, because you're brand new, and maybe you guys could talk about that, bond on that together, because you've only been doing this for a year.
For a
and
year, yep. Not
I'm
super
kind of
long.
a vet. And we also wanted to talk a little bit about etiquette, cosplay etiquette. It's a good thing to go over. So, what con did you go to?
I went to the Baltimore Comic-Con as Imperator Furiosa.
I saw your pictures. They look amazing.
Furiosa was amazing.
Yes, she is like the ultimate heroine, and I thought if I'm going to break this cosplay cherry, I am going to be Furiosa.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Go big or
Yeah,
go home,
Go big or
right?
go home, yeah.
Didn't go so far as to shave my head. Wanted to so bad, but I slicked it down.
You know, some things. Gotta give some things, right?
Well, you're allowed artistic license when you're cosplaying.
True.
You know, everybody has their own signature stamp on what they do.
There were so many Furiosa different types on the internet that I didn't know where to go. However, I was one of two Furiosas, and I was very shocked because I saw so many Furiosa, templates for me to choose from at DragonCon. Like, they even had, Imperator, Immortan Joe. There we go. They had Immortan Joe, cosplay as, woman, so, they're all different types of cosplay.
Yeah, lots of people do all kinds of different interpretations
Yeah.
on characters, and that's part of the fun, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, did you make all of it yourself, or make most of it, or...
I made all of it
Harvested.
myself without the help of Jonathan Thurman.
Just back there shaking his head.
Jonathan helped me, pretty much did about 75-80% of the work, and I, would chime in with, I want that. Do this, and help me with this, and we're going to do it this way. But he did most of the costume design.
Oh, cool.
So,
Yeah.
But it was all homemade, so I get brownie point for that.
Big time brownie points for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really curious what you did for your arm.
Well, what we did.
We.
We did, all me. It was Jonathan had the idea to put like a plastic tubing, and I'll connect it with a leather cuff here and like a metal pipe thing here. So there'd be plastic tubes full of oil coming up through my arm, and we had like a little cardboard thing to help round it out, and like a garden glove, to help out with that, and then like a cut up nylon stocking to put there, to show that I don't have an actual arm.
Mhm.
So, and lots and lots of tying together. It took forever to get into it, which is something that they don't tell you when your hand is completely immobile, and you might need to use that for certain activities like bathroom usage.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
you have to be able to figure out can I pull this off and put it back on?
Yeah. Cosplay pro tip.
Yeah.
Pee before you put it on.
Yeah. Exactly. That is the first thing you should know.
Yeah. And I highly, highly recommend that if you can, finish your costume at least a day before the con so that you can try it on
Yeah.
and make sure you can pee in it and move around in it.
Yes.
Try to stay hydrated. Those costumes get very, very hot, and you're
Yeah.
in a room full of very sweaty people because
Yep.
they're all very sweaty
Yep.
and wearing costumes.
Especially if you're wearing a wig.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
God, wigs.
That's like wearing a hat.
It is like wearing a
A
hat.
very, very fuzzy, warm, heavy hat.
Covers your entire scalp. There is no breathing.
Yeah. I have a mesh wig cap on, and then there's some breathing, but it is warm. It is keeping me warm. So you're wearing your first.
I am wearing... Well, actually, no. Technically, my first was High School Mina.
Right.
And that was all what we call closet play. So you go, you find things at the thrift store or things that you already have at the house,
Stuff you
And
might find in your closet.
stuff you find in your closet. So that way all you have to do is maybe go to Walmart, get a little bit of ribbon, a little bit of paint, hot glue gun, just to kind of pull it all together if you need to. Yeah, also my first time experience wearing a wig, and I love my wig, except for when I have to comb it out. I learned so many new pieces of information involving wig care and how to actually get your wig on so it doesn't slide off. The first time I was wearing my wig liked to migrate, and I didn't understand why until I realized there's actually 2 steps of pinning. You have to do the pin-up curls, put your bobby pins in, and those act as the anchor, so that way when you put the wig cap on over your head, and then you put pins through the wig cap, and you catch your pin-up curls to keep it. You can do cartwheels in that thing then. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
learning.
Yep. Yeah. And I have like mid-back length hair, which is all up under this right now.
You wouldn't be able to tell.
Nope.
Yeah.
Sticking it all up in those curls and then bobby pin it, and this hair's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, I wear glasses normally anyway, and by the end of the convention, I really I'm a big people watcher, so I was getting more excited about seeing what everybody else was doing and dressed up as opposed to looking like schoolgirl Mina. But then apparently it became a thing, and people were starting to go, oh, "You're that hipster Mina! Can I get a picture?"
Oh, God.
Hipster Mina! Sure, let's roll with it. Again, you put your own flair onto your costume, intentional or not, and that worked out pretty well. You had interesting interactions with the non-cosplay public when you were Furiosa.
Well, they were good experiences, as the internet, like I was saying, sometimes likes to really highlight the negative. Like, you're expecting, like, creepy dudes everywhere and yelling, and you're like, I don't know if I can handle that. I don't think I can handle the attention on that one. But my experiences were actually little girls running up to me, and I had no idea small little girls would look up to a movie based on a post-apocalyptic dystopia, like car movie for the most part. Like, you can't really call it anything other than like, a grindhouse car movie. And these little girls, like 5 years old, coming up to me like, "Can I get you a picture with you, Furiosa?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I'm dying inside. Please take a picture with me." And the best part was probably the father and the daughter come up to me and they asked me, "Can we have a picture with you?" And I said, "Sure." And they get a picture, and then they come up with the idea of like, "Oh, we should do a video." Like I said, "Now, do you want to go to Valhalla?" And they said, "Let's do a video of that." So I'm spraying this little girl's face with silver, like just her mouth, sending her to Valhalla, and she is so happy. I was having so many feels that I was just like, "Get away from me, kid. I'm going to cry. Get away.
Furiosa can't cry.
Furiosa does not cry. Everything is pain. Go away."
Oh, that's really sweet.
I mean, have you guys had that experience?
Yes, actually.
Yes, I mean, like, you could go to hospitals and cheer up small children. I was like, I don't know what child would be happy to see Furiosa just right off the bat at a hospital, but I was like, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, I have done the Siren from the second Borderlands game, which was another case where, like, this little kid who had to have been, 4, like, way too young to be playing a first-person shooter.
Exactly!
Comes, like, running up to me, and of course I'm like 18 feet tall, so he's like, and then he's like, "Are you Lilith, who's the Siren from the first game?" And I was like, "No, buddy, I'm Maya, I'm the Siren from 2. And he went, "You put people in the circle and you pick them up off the ground." And if you've ever actually played the game, she has an ability where she's like, whoosh, and then they go up in a bubble and get lifted up off the ground. And I was like, "Yes, buddy, that's me." And then, like, I got down and I was like, "Give me a fist bump." And of all the children I took pictures with that day, because I guess it's because the Borderlands costumes are really colorful that parents are just like, "There's a person in bright colors, it's for children, let's go." Like, the parents weren't like, "Oh, Borderlands, that's awesome." They were just like, "You're colorful, let's put our children in a picture with you." And he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna fist bump you." He gave me a tiny little fist bump, and then he gave me a huge hug. And his parents were like, he saw you from the other side of the dealer's room, and he just went, it's Borderlands! And, like, would not stop pestering them until they brought him over to talk to me.
Aww.
And that was just, like,
My so many more feels.
Oh, the feels.
all the feels.
Yeah.
That was really sweet.
So
I've had a lot more kid interactions when I've gone to do events in Florida, and I feel like I've gone to MegaCon several times, and that's in Orlando, and it's right like in Disney's backyard. So I feel like there's like maybe that area is more accustomed to seeing people just walking around in costumes, and they're like, oh, it's a person in a costume, we'll go take a picture with them. That's Disney's up the street, they must have leaked out. So that's been most of my experience. That doesn't happen to me too often up here in the Northeast.
Well, people are more reserved, I think, in the Northeast. I've been to Florida.
Yeah, Florida's something special.
Florida, they are, very courteous compared to the Northeast. Like, when you're driving down there, let them pass. They say hi to you. It's amazing.
It's because it's so warm.
So warm.
Not reserved.
Yeah. Well, since we've all talked about kind of having good my first experience was Otakon 2002, and I was dressed as Chocolate from Sorcerer Hunters, which probably means nothing to most of the people listening to this show. But it was kind of a sexy costume, and it was really wildly popular. And I would not have a wildly popular costume again until 2013. But there was also a period where I was like not doing it as heavily, and then I had a renaissance, like I discussed in our first half, and I learned to do like serious craftsmanship stuff. So that's my first experience, and it was also very positive. But moving on from that, we did say we wanted to touch on proper etiquette and stuff like that.
And I think both of you had you both touched on this about people coming up to ask for pictures.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good lead into some of the etiquette when...
Yeah, and she did say she was kind of afraid of expecting creeps and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, my costume is not particularly sexy, but I do know I have large boobs, and with the belt there, it was kind of becoming a little obvious.
Fantastic.
And that's part of the cosplay experience, I guess. It's just, everybody was very courteous. There was nobody being, awful.
Good,
Yeah.
good. I'm glad nobody was being
So
awful.
rule number 1
Yes.
is cosplay does not always imply consent. If you see somebody who is boobarella, that is not okay for you to come running up to them and smooshing their chesticles up against you.
Don't touch.
And going,
Don't touch.
And going, I'm a huge fan. You walk up to them, you say, hello, I'm a huge fan. Is it okay if I can take my picture with you?
Pretend they're human.
Yeah, they're human. They're human.
Also, pretend they have really nasty superpowers that they're going to use on you if you're mean to them.
This is true.
It's a good thing to remember that nobody is entitled to give you their time and attention.
Yeah.
So if somebody says no, take that as an answer. You may see them again. You don't know if they have to be somewhere to be. Like, I've had to tell people no because I was late for a professional photo shoot. Like, I have to be on time. I am paying this person for their time. I'm afraid I can't stop. Like, I have a place to be. And I try to be polite. Like, and if you are the person who is in a costume and someone stops you and you can't stop, like, don't be a jerk either.
Yeah, don't be a jerk.
Don't be a
Pool.
jerk.
Don't be a jerk. Pool.
No yelling things.
Yeah, from the person wearing the costume's perspective, try to be respectful of people's space. If your costume is really big, have someone try your best to have someone minding you. Like, if you have huge wings, you don't want to block a hallway. You don't want to block someone's booth. You don't want to block the doors. Like, you don't want to whap someone in the face in the elevator.
Yeah.
And like the easiest way to solve that problem is either to be loud about it, like, I got big wings, I'm coming through, or to have someone there helping you. Because if you are wearing a big bulky costume, you're probably gonna want to have a minder with you, a handler.
A handler.
In general, a handler is nice.
Yeah, a general handler is nice
Because you will get dehydrated, you will get tired, and you will get very, very tired.
and cranky.
Cranky, yeah, that's the word.
I get really hangry. So
yeah, exactly.
like if I'm in an outfit like Lanku here, it's just a jacket and like an undershirt and canvas pants and everything, so I can carry a bag. Like, I can mind myself. I can just put on a backpack, and I usually carry my backpack with water and snacks and my phone and wallet and all that. But if I'm in, I'll use my Yellow Diamond costume as an example. I'm in armor. I have gloves on. I have a helmet on where I can't hear anybody. Like,
You're covered in body paint.
I'm covered in body paint. Like, I can't use my phone. I can't touch anything. I can't move very well, and I can't hear very well. So I have to have somebody, like, in front of me or beside me to either intercept people who want to stop me and to like keep me from stepping on short people. So, because I'm in huge heels in that costume
That's
too.
another thing. Like there will be very small people that you will trample.
Yeah,
You don't
well,
want
you're very tall too, so
Yeah.
you know the feeling of like somebody's just below your line of sight. Like peripheral vision ends right about here,
Yep.
and if you were like, I'm 6 feet tall. I don't know how tall you
6
are.
foot.
All right, yeah. Okay, so as 6 foot tall ladies, like if you're 5 feet tall, we can't see you.
No. And it gets worse when, like, you're kicking children. That's
Yeah.
happened to me before. And I know, like, everyone makes fun of, like, oh, we hate children, but it's like, no, don't kick them.
Yeah, no.
I'm not, like, just don't.
Yeah,
I feel really, really bad.
And like if you are a photographer, also please be mindful of the space you're in. Like don't stop somebody like right in the middle of a hallway, because I've seen that happen. Like, and then especially if it's a really cool costume, one person's like, "Hey, can I get your picture?" That also goes for congoers with cell phones too. Like if you stop somebody like in the middle of the hallway or in front of someone's booth, well then the crowd's gonna gather right there. And if you are the person taking the picture, whether you're a professional photographer or a congoer, that's really rude.
Yeah. So move
Yeah, and
to the edge,
it's
move
not
to the
always
side.
that the person who is the subject's responsibility to be aware of that situation, though if you are, be mindful of your surroundings.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to block dealers' booths because everybody's there working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're everybody's there to have a good time. Everybody's there to be loving on comics and assorted sundry like geekdom. So we don't want anybody to have a bad time.
And some dealers' rooms actually have rules about not doing that. Like I have actually
Yeah.
been told, because I was stopped by somebody else. It was not me. Like I was not being like, oh, I'm just gonna stand right here and be in the way. No, somebody else stopped me and was like talking to me, and then a staff member was like, you guys need to move. Like you are blocking this person's booth. You need to move, which is fine. Like I was like, okay, bye. Like, okay, I'll go. And some places have rules about that. Like some dealers' rooms are pretty strict about where you can and can't stop, and they have staff patrolling around to keep that from happening. And some places aren't. So depending on where you are, just try to be mindful.
Yeah, I mean, mindful of your surroundings.
Which is kind of hard if you're socially awkward, but that's
Yeah.
why you have a handler, is why I point that out.
And if you and that goes back to the whole don't touch without consent and all that stuff. Like just ask, or like if you have a hard time reading body language, which is genuine, like some people do, use your words.
You wouldn't be into this stuff if you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Well, I actually had a conversation with a guy who wound up being a friend of mine. Like, I couldn't think of anything else to say. Like, we were trying to talk. I wanted to keep talking to him, but I ran out of stuff to talk about. And I just kept being like, yeah, I'm really glad we ran into each other again. And he was like, are you trying to get rid of me? Because I'm kind of bad at reading cues. Do you want me to go? Do I need to go? And I was like, oh, no, I'm sorry. I ran out of things to talk about, but I think you're really cool and I want you to keep hanging out, but I run out of topics of conversation. He was like, oh, okay. He used his words.
There's another lesson. Use your words.
Use your words.
Use your words.
Use
Yep.
your words.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you think of anything else be mindful, use your words?
Yeah, be mindful. And try not to be judgmental. I mean,
Yeah.
some people are going. It's their first costume. It may not look like something that came off a Project Runway, but they're there because they want to be this person so badly. Or, if you can tell their costume was bought and not made, they're doing it because they want to be that person so badly.
Everybody is there because they want to be.
Yes.
Yes.
And,
And it doesn't matter if you are skinny, if you are fluffy, if you are... there's different types of cosplay where you can do gender bent or what's called crossplay.
Like what I'm doing right now?
Yes.
Crossplay.
So crossplay is when you are one gender cosplaying as somebody who is the other gender.
Like Morton Joe Z.
Yeah, or you can do gender bending cosplay. So for ZenkaiCon in a couple of weeks, I plan on doing a character named Jafar. But I'm doing the gender bent version. So
And she means from the anime Magi,
From
the
the-
Labyrinth
from the
of
anime
Magic,
Magi,
not the Disney villain.
not the creepy
I went
guy
there,
with,
my
with
head.
the Iago and the creepy mustache. And just no. From Magi, and Jafar is a guy. He's like the right-hand man to King Sinbad,
Who's gonna be me?
who Monica will be going as. But I am doing the female version of that, So I will be, instead of having a high collar dress shirt, I'll have like a little bit something more open. Instead of having his crown piece up here, I'm going to turn it into like a necklace. You know, I'm going to make it real girly. Instead of having a thick hat for his veil, I've got like gossamer green with sparkles. So sparkles, yes,
I'm
glitter.
looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, so so people are going to do whatever it is they want to. Just don't be judgmental.
Yeah.
There are a couple of instances where it may not be okay. I went to a panel at Otakon last year. Skin color is not a costume, so do not go in blackface. Do not do.
Don't do brown face, black
Don't do brown face.
Like, green people have never been oppressed, so like.
Yes, green people have never been oppressed. I would like one of my ideal future cosplays would be Garnet from Steven Universe, and she has red skin, and I kind of had to think about how I really wanted to do Garnet because Garnet has square black hair that is
She's
reminiscent
a
of a
square
fro. Yeah, it's and she's got hips that don't lie. So you have to be really kind of careful to make sure you're not going to be stepping on anybody's toes.
That again goes with be respectful, be mindful
respectful,
of things.
yeah.
When Many Worlds and I run the Sailor Moon photo shoots, we always open with the rule that like you don't know whose mom or best friend is in the audience. So if you don't like someone's costume, you keep your comments to yourself until you're gone. Mm-hmm. You can go back up to your hotel room and be like, "Oh my God, did you see how ugly her wig was?" Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to like anybody's costumes. That's fine. Like, you can think somebody's work is bad, or you can think their wig was really ratty and needed to be combed out. Like, these are perfectly okay opinions to have, but don't share them with the person who is wearing the ugly wig.
Because again, you wouldn't really like it if somebody did that to you. Like,
There's no
you don't
point
have a
in-
6-pack. Why are you walking around as Batman? Like, you know, that's nobody wants to hear that. So, you know, be accepting. You know, if you have a Psylocke that's running around who may be like 30 pounds, a little heavy for the Psylocke outfit, you know what? At least she had the guts to go up and do it.
Oh,
So, you know what?
Yeah.
You go, girlfriend. You do your thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you rock those ninja skills. Just try to be polite and respectful and
Again, don't yell things because they might have superpowers and you don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
You
You don't know.
You don't know.
no, the watcher could come down, hit a reset button, and everybody who's dressed up as cosplay gets the superpowers of everybody. Yes,
And so
of who
don't
you are
risk
dressed
it.
as. Yeah, so don't,
Don't
risk
risk
it.
it.
Don't risk it. Yep.
Yeah.
But you know, cosplay dudes, go do it.
Yeah, go do
be
it.
enthusiastic
Anything
and
you
do the
want.
best you can. Anything you want.
Don't dream it, be it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Do go to a convention. Do attend a photo meetup. Like Otakon and Katsucon do scheduled meetup times where everybody who wants to attend, who is in costume for that particular fandom, and there's lots of fandoms from all sorts of anime to like even comic books are getting a bigger presence now. Like I think DC and Marvel both had their own photo meetups at the last Otakon I was at, and like everybody who wants to go to those come to it and they congregate in one area, and then the people running the photo shoot call them up and be like, all the Sailor Moons, all the Batmans, all the Spider-Men, you know.
All the Deadpools.
All the
Harley
Deadpools.
All the
Quinns.
Deadpools.
Deadpools and Harley Quinns are the top 2 costumes. I was actually counting them at the Baltimore Comic-Con.
Yeah, and then like people, photographers will come and take pictures, and it's usually in an open place, and it's a great place to connect with other people who are really passionate about the same thing that you are. It's a great place to meet other fans, and those are a lot of fun. And I
You might make some friends.
you will absolutely
Yeah, you will
make
absolutely
some friends.
make friends.
I
So
have
Cosplay is
do
about
go
friends.
do those.
Yeah, I have a huge network of friends that I have met and made through going to photo meetups and meeting other fans. And, like, at the bottom line, you're guaranteed to meet someone who likes at least one thing that you like. And if you see someone who is dressed up as the same character as you, don't get jealous. They like the same character as you.
It's true. That was a common problem with me. I was like, oh, I thought I was the only one.
I mean, like, I also have a moment of, like, oh, man, she looks better than me. But then I'm like,
Boom.
then I'm like, oh, that's stupid.
Yeah.
The constructive way to deal with that is to go up to them and be like, you look amazing, or you look perfect. Like, there's no better compliment you can pay to a cosplayer than you look perfect.
And give me
Right.
your arm.
And then be like, I love your Furiosa arm. If you see someone who like made it entirely out of metal or whatever, and you're like, how did you do that? Tell me how you did it. And most people are like, oh my God, let me tell you.
Yes.
And then we'll just gush over how you did it. And then you have a friend.
Yes.
And if they blow you off, forget them.
Yeah.
Yes. That's kind of was my experience.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, my only twin, spurned.
Yeah. So,
I'm sorry your twin didn't want to like take a twin selfie with you.
She did, actually,
Oh,
but
okay.
it took a little bit of convincing.
oh,
Like, her
that's
friend
too
kept
bad.
hitting her, saying, I think someone wants your picture. I think someone wants... And she, like, looked up very slowly and got up. I think she was, like, super duper professional cosplayer type. And
So,
I was like, oh.
She can have time for you. I mean, you're not entitled. Like, go back. Actually, nobody's entitled to your time. But like,
No.
a selfie, come on. You can be friendly for a selfie.
for 30 seconds. Yeah, unless you, like you said, you're on your way
do
to
it. I
talk.
gotta do it. Let me go.
No!
Okay, well,
What?
thanks, guys. This was awesome. And if you have any comments, please leave them in the box below. Like us on Facebook. And what's the other one? I forget.
Instagram,
Instagram, Twitter,
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
I love
MySpace.
Snapchat.
I love Snapchat.
MySpace.
Is that a cereal?
MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace.
You like, comment,
subscribe
and
to us,
subscribe?
please. We love you. Thank you. Hey, go on, get out of here.
Thanks.